And someone's playing like, oh my god. Whoa, why does the sun look like that? You can't really tell, but it's like, wonder. It's like bright orange. Sorry for the zooming in and out, that didn't work very well. But like, I can't get any angle that it shows like what I'm seeing with my naked eye. It's glowing like a bright orange. That's so weird. So, while I was supposed to be doing like other things, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing anything. I chose to clean up my porch yesterday. I have a candle hanging here now. I forgot I stuck that incense in there. I ran off yesterday in the middle of an incense stick, so I dipped it in wax to put it out. I had a brilliant idea. Well, it's not like I just had the idea. I've had the idea for quite a while, but I just implemented? No, that's not the right word. I don't know what the right word is, but I did it. Well, there we go. I was wondering if I'd be able to relight that because I dipped it in wax. That worked. So I'm going to give you a tour of what it looks like now on my balcony. I call it a balcony, but it's not up in the air with a railing. But I'm not sure what else to call it. Like, to me, a porch is off the front of a house, and it's like wooden, you know? If this was upstairs, it would definitely be called a balcony. So I have multiple candles going today. There's one I'm not going to light because it's kind of out there. I'll show you that in a bit. It's so cozy out here now, guys. I know a lot of you agreed with me it was cozy before, but I feel like it's even more cozy. There we go. Maybe I'll put this candle over here beside you guys. So, I bought maple syrup for my coffee again. I know I tried that before, you may remember, but I was using milk, which is not as flavorful as cream. Well, there's a coffee grind. Surprising I don't get many of those using a French press. Yeah, so I've upgraded to the thicker cream, and then I'm using maple syrup because real sugar, your body doesn't know what to do with it, especially if you have 2 teaspoons in a coffee. It's like, what the heck? You'll get insulin spikes. Well, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm pre-diabetic, so I will get an insulin spike. And it creates this vicious cycle where your body has to produce insulin because of the sugar spike. And it gets to the point where, I don't know all the technical terms, but your body gets worn out and it can't produce enough insulin all the time for all this sugar, and you become insulin resistant. Did I get that right? This is yesterday's hair, but I feel like I like it. I don't know why. I cut my hair, guys. Remember in my last video, I was like, I should cut this part of my hair. Well, I did. Then I ended up cutting the rest of my hair. This is my undercut. That's not how short it is. But it's shorter than I would have liked. But it'll grow back. Oh, speaking of growing back, I bought biotin. So just for reference, I don't know, my hands look terrible? Okay. My nails are short, and they're very weak, and they split. And I feel like my hair has stopped growing again. I go through this in my life. I don't know what it is. So I bought biotin. It's worked for me in the past. I'll have to take it for 6 months or a year to even notice, like, I'll notice a difference in like maybe 3 months, because things grow slow, right? So yeah, 3 months from now, hopefully my nails will be healthier, my hair will start growing again. Yeah, so you ready for the tour? Okay, so that's where you guys were just sitting. I'm sure that looks familiar. And then it all started because of that mirror. I got a mirror, okay? That started the whole chain of events. Plus I had this metal stand over here with no shelves on it, and just like bark and stuff sitting on the top. So let me get up here. I'm growing a lot of like grass type stuff for ginger. So this used to have drawers in it. And I probably should have threw it out with the drawers, but it ended up kicking around here. I was using the top of it when I spray paint, because it has like a mesh, and it was just good for that. But these drawers, my Swiss chard's actually growing. Then I got 2 dandelions, and those trays are all just grass. I bought a grass clover mix. This is spearmint. It's not sprouted yet. This is a long story. I'll get to that in a minute. And I showed you these guys. There's 2 lettuce and cilantro and spinach. Cilantro, spinach, lettuce. And there's no sprouts in there yet. So yeah, I got this mirror from a girl I know. I mentioned in my last video, actually. She messaged me and said, I have a bunch of yard sale stuff. Do you want or need anything? And this mirror was one of them. I didn't know it was this big. She's like, I think it's bigger than you think. But that's okay, because now it's out here and I absolutely love it. I had another purpose for it if it was smaller, but... And then I moved my mom's bench stuff. This was all lined with, like, it came out in piles. So now the bench is there, and the wood for the bench that I still have to sand is just leaning over in a corner there. Just beyond my bird's nest. I got that bird nest from a neighbor, and we both decided that that was the perfect place for it to sit, because I already had these little branches swirling there, oddly enough. Just perfect for a bird feeder. Okay, you're getting distracted, Tanya. So my driftwood's there, my longer sticks are there. Under the ladder, I just have my rake and my broom, and that milk crate holds 4 4-gallon jugs that I use when I water the plants. Under there's my barbecue I never set up. I need to clean it, but anyways. And this cage is there because the squirrels dig in the dirt. So what's next? Well, this candle holder is suspended here from this branch, and it's right beside me. I love it. And then I put this one out here on a little shepherd's hook. So I probably will only light that at nighttime. Oh, and those flowers are finally turning pink. And I put my little windmill thing here. Ooh. Weather vane? I don't know what you call that. And these wind chimes. I got those from the mobile home one of the last times I was out there. And I have these grapevines. I brought them up. I tucked them under this wood. They're going to come up and grow on both sides there. Grow into the balcony. And then I cleaned out all under there. It had other things. So now that bag is just spare dirt for planting from the tomato plant that I had to dig up. I got my sticks in a different container. Because I was putting it here, I had them in a flower pot with no drainage holes. But if rain gets in here from here, it will drain and the wood won't rot. And then this had a fake candle in it with like, well, I'll show you what it had. This, which I washed this since it doesn't look as bad and kind of spread it out, but yeah, that was all in there. So I took it out and put a real candle in there. I love it. It's safe, you know. I've had these for 100 years. It's not the best place for them. It's like scales, you know. I don't have anywhere out anywhere to. Nana's garden, I moved that sign because it was on the hook where the mirror was. And then, is that the most of it that I want to show you before I show you the big deal? Oh yeah, this rooster was up there where Nana's garden is. And then, oh, I sawed this in half. Do you remember the video I dragged that piece of wood out of the bush? McNamara Trail in the next town over. More driftwood there, and then the wood that I harvested from the mobile home when my ex-husband had to have that tree cut down. Well, half of it fell in a storm, but yeah, all that wood there. Okay, so what else? I think I'm ready to sit back down. Oh, and I got this from the lady too that brought me that free stuff. And I got that sewing machine, but it's still all in my wagon. That's kind of what I meant when there was other things I should be doing. Like the house is a disaster, but I was like, what are those crystal things on the table? So I don't even know what they are, but I like them. Okay, so this is what I went and did yesterday. I'm gonna get my handy dandy flashlight here. I'm gonna turn the camera around. I went to the river. And I got plants from the river. There's one lily pad. I don't know if it'll survive. I'm not sure what these ones are. They're like a spade-shaped leaf. And these are actually, I think, little cattails. I'm not sure. No, one of them's a cattail. Where is it? The other ones are just weird grass. Where's the cattail gone? Anyways, you'll just have to take my word for it. So I put a rock in each. I don't know if you can see. You can't see the rock in any of these right now. But I put a rock and a couple pieces of driftwood. And then I got sand, and I had to wash all the sand. This is a long story. I'll get to that in a minute. Because if you put just dusty sand in, the water will be dust. So there's sand down there, and then a tiny little bit of gravel here and there, and then the plants. Why, you ask? Oh, and then also, there's a bunch of like leafy debris in there. There's a hollow spot under here. You can see that. So, the leafy debris is for the organisms to eat. And the water is from the river too. So, you guys, I think I told you guys that I'm wanting to set up a natural aquarium. So this is the kind of the beginning stages of that. These are called, I watched this guy, I think he's called Mr. Fish, Father Fish. And he sets up natural bioactive aquariums. Resurrection jars, okay? So you get everything from nature and you keep it in a jar. And someone's playing like, oh my God. There's someone walking through there. Playing a pan flute or something. What? Whoever you are, thanks for making my morning so magical. Wow. Huh. That doesn't happen every day. Crazy. Yeah. Wow, what was I even talking about? A bioactive aquarium. That was beautiful. I was up late last night. Oh. So although apparently you don't need it, I'm a little worried that, and I'm going to need it when I do get a tank also, but oxygen. The plants will create oxygen for all the little critters, and that's what bioactive is all about, right? But I just want air bubbles in there. So I ordered the cheapest air bubbler I could find. Not the cheapest with the best reviews on Amazon. And then I got, and because there's such little jars, I need a small amount of air, so it has adjustable. And then I got another thing that has a bunch of attachments so that I can split that one air hose into 3. Okay, so I got my new pump with an adjustable airflow. I got my 4 air stones. It comes out. It has this, what's it called? A check valve. So that's so air can go out this way, but water can't come back in. And then I have a splitter, and that goes to 2 more splitters. So I end up with 4, and each one of those has an airflow valve because these are just tiny little jars, so we can't have like crazy amounts of airflow. And then it comes up to 4 ends, and that's like, I don't know, 3 feet long maybe. So that'll go to each one of my little resurrection jars up there. And I can have just the tiniest amount of bubbles in all 3 of these little jars. And then once I do get an aquarium, I'll be able to have bubbles in my jars. But theory is you won't need a filter in the aquarium. So it's only 8:20 now, and I don't want to wake my ex-husband up, but soon enough, I will be texting him asking if I can get a few snails out of the aquarium there. There's thousands of them, so they're just like, people consider them like nuisance or invasive, which they can be if you overfeed, but they're just ram's horn snails. Did I say that already? So I'm going to put some in these jars, and I have them, hopefully they get enough sun, but apparently if you put them in the direct sun too long, because it's such a little jar, the water will heat up and just fry everything in there. There's lots of people out and about today. That was a 4x4 or side by side or whatever you call it. I see more people walking. Normally I don't notice the people through the trees there. Maybe I'm just really observant because of that pan flute player. Yeah, so is that all I wanted to say about those? Those plants and the water will go into my aquarium whenever I get one. The bubbler and stuff cost like $42 or something, which wasn't in my budget. Nothing's in my budget. But I seen an older lady at the boat launch, and she seen me carrying these buckets and digging in the mud, and people are asking me what I'm doing. One gentleman's like, "What are you going to do with all those plants?" And I was like, "Well, I'm a little strange, but..." And he's like, "Oh no, that's okay. I just curious. What are you going to do with them?" And I told him about the jars and how eventually those will end up in my aquarium. But I should keep a couple spare jars because the microorganisms will grow in those. And I can just literally take a turkey baster of water and squirt it into my actual aquarium every few days and keep my aquarium stocked with the microorganisms. And he talks about like how people worry about pathogens and stuff getting into their aquarium, but everything like balances each other out, you know? But what you guys don't know is I got some snails from the river today. They're gonna go in there too. Most of them are probably stuck to the glass, but I'm going to pour them in here. See if anybody comes out. Nope. They're all stuck in there. How am I gonna get them out? Hey guys, you need to come out here. I don't know if there's anything in this, but it's like a little clam. Any more snails in here? I know there was a couple little tiny snails. But that's another reason why I have this basin up here. I'm just going to keep the water, and in case there is a baby snail in there, when he gets bigger, I will see him. I'll do the same with this. There, those are definitely empty. Yeah, so if there's any snails I missed, they'll be in this backup little thing that I also have a bubbler in, so I can't wait to see those ones swimming around, climbing around in there. It's the big snail. That snail is huge. I can't wait to get an aquarium. I'm thinking about like a 30-gallon approximately. Basically just to house what's in these jars here, and maybe like a tiny little school of fish. This guy was literally laying up on the shoreline. If I didn't spot him, he would have died. He wasn't in the water. He was clinging on to like a bit of seaweed. just staying alive off the moisture from the seaweed, probably. I could have put them back in the water, I guess. I wasn't intending on bringing such a big snail home, but that just gives me more incentive to get a bigger tank. Hey, little buddy. Like, that snail must be old. There's a little worm in there. Right beside the snail. Oh, little worm. That's what makes this a biodiverse aquarium. So I've got some blanched vegetables for my snails. I boiled them in the microwave for a bit and then cooled them down so they're like half cooked. Carrots. And then I've got some celery. Okay guys, that was just a quick update on what's going on here on my balcony. I'll see you guys in the next video.